Another day in the boatyard. Today, it's electrical work. And I have a fucking electrical demon in there somewhere. It's possessing my boat. And I've been ignoring it because, oh my god, the electrical system is a bit of a fuckfight on Tintin. It really is. It's been patched and pieced together for far too long. Now I have an active power source in the house bank, and I haven't been able to find it yet. It could also be the problem where I'm getting straight current from. I've had a bit, well, potentially straight current. Found a solar leak, which I changed out, some wires which are corroded. I ripped out the old, what the fuck is this thing, DC to DC charger, which died, and now I am ripping apart the electrical system, trying to find this gremlin. So I've now found that I've got active power to my house bank, regardless of whether I'm switched on or off, which is not good, and I don't know where or what. So what have I done? Last year I changed the switchboard. That could be the problem. I could be putting power directly from the bank somehow, or pulling it directly from the, I don't know. Pretty sure it was right before I did that. No, I don't know why I haven't picked it up. I knew there was an issue. I didn't realise it was quite as tricky as it is. So at the moment I'm just pulling shit apart. Not fun at all. So isolating batteries, because all my batteries are big ass batteries. It'll, hurt. And at the moment I'm just trying to work my way through. I thought I just had a solar leak. Yeah, but I've got a fucking stray wire in here somewhere which is active, which is feeding the whole house bank. The joys of owning a boat and being everything to everybody. It's a bit of a challenge. So I'm going to have a cup of tea, and then I'm probably going to go to J-Car, pick up a few bits and pieces, get away from the boat for half an hour and have a think about how this thing is happening, why this thing is happening. Well, the work continues. I don't know what time it is now. It's 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, and I'm determined to get this thing bloody fixed. So I've pretty much been ripping apart wiring, trying to work out how I've managed to bypass the isolation switches, or maybe something has failed and I've just got a live boat. Not great. So I found a couple other little flaws, loose connections and other bits and pieces. I've been fixing things as I go, which seems to be the what I've been up to lately is just ripping apart and putting back together. Yeah, this is one of the jobs I was planning on, maybe the end of next year or something like that. Rip the whole electrical system out and rewire the boat. Not a job I want to do, but the wiring on Tintin is a fuck fight. It really is. It's just been piecemeal, and I want to gut it and put in a new console behind me. It's not so flash, 1974 vintage, so didn't have a lot in the way of electrical equipment, and the more electrical equipment you add on to an element in your boat, the more problems you potentially have for electrolysis and stray current and everything else. And I seem to be getting that pretty much from when I put the new motor in. So I've been trying to work out what's going on. Like, I have a feed from there heading out to my starter motor. That's a live positive line, goes to the starter motor, the big thick red one, and that's disconnected. And then I have the motor and the battery, the starter battery is disconnected. And then I have another line that goes from the alternator back to the starter motor. Sorry, alternator back to the battery. So I can't ever switch it off and kill the alternator because it's direct feed, and I want to put a DC to DC charger in there, and then charge the house battery off the starter battery, which is what I had, but the DC to DC died. Rhenology. But shit happens. So I've still got a feed in the boat somewhere, and it's not the starter bank, because there is a live feed in the starter. Sorry, in the console. It shouldn't be a live feed. So somewhere when I put the motor in and rewired the console, I've got a live feed going back, but it's it isn't enough to start the motor. But yes, I've been going at this for hours and hours and hours, and I'm just fucking pulling my wires off, putting shit back together, fixing stuff as I go along. And I've probably got another 2 hours tonight. Well, we had a win. We, as in me. I think somehow I've fucked up the wiring when I put the engine in, and I did something that allowed the boat to be live even when it was switched off, which I don't know whether it's something I've adjusted recently or whether it's been like that for the last year. Pretty crazy, eh? Shit happens. Lessons learnt. And so I've sort of down in that mess, which is the boat wiring. Batteries down the bottom there. Got the house bank isolation and the starter isolation. So I created a different stud, moved the all the powers to a new stud, and then brought power back to distribution board, and I think we're good now. So now I've got to move a bilge pump, my automated bilge pump, to a battery, so it's always on, or it always has power, more so than always on. And that way, when I turn the boat off at on anchor, I have the capacity to have the bilge always operating. And then I've got to connect up the power, so I want the solar to be charging when I've got this switch here is my solar isolation. So I've got 2 sets of solar panels. I've got 800 watts in the main bank, and I've got about 400 in the 400 of smaller panels in another controller, and they all operate through this. And this is a wind generator. So I can switch between solar and wind, and I can do both, and I can turn them all off, which is something I want to be able to do if I'm working on the boat easily and quickly. So so at the moment everything seems to be working. I just need to do a few more checks, and it's a bit hard to do with there's not much room down in here anyway, and I don't have a spare hand. So that's what I'm up to, and I will probably chat to you in the morning when I've had a chance to reflect on all this before I put it all back together. Another day. Well, just finished the electrical problems. Well, I haven't just finished. I went for a walk in town around the river. It's quite lovely. Looks like it's going to rain again today, so it was nice to just get out and have a bit of a walk. Need to get off the boat occasionally. Came back with a fresh set of eyes to work out what was going on with the solar, so I'd hooked up one of the solar banks to the mains battery. That's why it wouldn't turn off. That's what happens when you get tired and you're working with electricity. So yeah, it's always good to leave things off and come back in the morning, fresh set of eyes, and have another look. And yeah, so got everything back together. We've got my solar charger, wind charger at the top, labelled this time. I've got two 25 amp solid state, well, solid, Victronic battery chargers, which I hook up to my generator or mains. And I find 50 amps is more than enough for my boat. I don't normally use more than about 100 amps of power in a day, and coupled with the solar. Sometimes, cruising and it's overcast and just not getting enough solar with the freezer going. If I'm using the freezer, it's not normally a problem, but with the freezer, it tends to suck down the power a bit. But yeah, that's life. And on the trip up there, I'll probably be running the freezer, and then Fiona and I decide whether we use the freezer when we get there. But she is starting to get fond of pina coladas, which require ice. I was looking at putting in a dedicated alternator just for charging, but that was going to cost me $3,000 to add that, like a couple of grand for the materials to put it in there, and then another $700, $1,000 for the alternator. Yeah, I could buy a lot of fuel for $3,000, so I have to think about that. And when I put davits on the boat, I'm going to add another solar panel, which more than be enough. I'm thinking about getting rid of the wind generator completely. I'm not really happy with them. I always find them a bit of a pain in the ass, and I do think they shade my solar as well. So chewing that over also, almost sick of the wind generator. But yes, the electrical's back together. So far, I think I've tested everything and it's all working as it should. I'm sure there's something I haven't tested, so I'm going to put all that back together. I'm going to put all this shit back in the cupboards where I pulled it all out of. The boat was clean until last night when I started this, and this required a lot more things out of a lot more cupboards than I anticipated. So, as you can see, my electrical boxes, multimeters, zip ties, tools, hammers for doing bigger, I had to do a couple of big battery terminals, which how I put them on without a big crimp is I use a block of wood, a hammer and a cold chisel, and put it together, and then I beat the fuck out of it with a hammer and cold chisel, and they tend to hold pretty well. They don't look pretty, but hey, it's better than trying to find someone with a bloody big crimp. So this is the facilities at the Whangarei Marine Centre. As we walk in the door, we've got a laundry, washers and dryers, $2 and $1 coins. I think it's $3 for a wash. It's not too bad. Little courtyard. They have like a place where cruisers and staff can have barbecues and social gatherings. It's like an administration facility next door where the ladies do the admin for the facility. There's a couple of doors into here. Commercial kitchen. Someone's got a vending machine, of course. So yeah, it's I've seen probably up to about 10 people in here cooking. So if you're on your boat and you're ripping apart the kitchen and cooking's not really an option, you can use the facilities. Yeah, toilet, fridge and freezer. That's the yard just there. 80-foot yacht just hanging around. But yeah, so it's a pretty good facility. I've used this quite regularly. Get off the boat, come over here, cook some meat. And this is the, I guess, rec room. So yeah, I've seen, again, probably up to about 16 people having big meals. Pool table, we got a book exchange. I came over here and dumped about 2 bags of books off the other day, off the boat, and took a couple more. Got some free weights, kettlebells, and yeah, quite often you'll see people working over here. You know, they're someone's working on the boat, someone else is doing a bit of admin in here, or they're trying to catch up on their, work life, whatever that is. And someone will be in here having a video conference, and and hubby might be still busting his ass on the boat trying to do something. Or, mum's over here with the kids, trying to keep them entertained away from something that's happening on the boat, which might not be good for kids to be around. There's a lot of dangerous things happen on a boatyard. And, beautiful morning today. You don't get this every day in Whangarei, trust me. But there's a travel lift. There's I think it's a 50 tonne and a 300 tonne. And that's the super yacht mooring over there. So last time I was here, there was 3 super yachts all stacked in there next to where that catamaran is at the moment. All about 100 footers. So they've got they can moor stern too with those floats out the front for the bow lines. That's a rigger's shed over there in the corner. So that's the facilities here at Whangarei Marine Centre. I was in here last night having a bit of a chat to someone, video conference. And this is where I do my workout. Well, I wouldn't call it a workout, I'd call it more stretching because I'm fucking sore. Sore everywhere at the moment. So I come over here in the mornings and try and do some stretching and, stop the pain, Trevor. Make it go away. Doesn't always work though. So, anyway, I'll catch you a bit later.